Rogan sits down with Max Holloway, a professional mixed martial artist who competes in the UFC's featherweight and lightweight divisions at his famous JRE MMA show. It was JRE MMA show number 155. They were talking about UFC news and Max's potential fights. Max Holloway is always interesting. Did they discuss anything about UFC 300? Yes, they did. They mentioned how Max Holloway could be a highlight of UFC 300. Joe Rogan clips from the show have been trending in MMA news, especially if you're into MMA. They also talked about Justin Gaethje's unique fighting style and how Max might face him again. They talked about a potential rematch with Poirier and maybe even a fight with Conor McGregor. It was great to hear all the insights from Joe Rogan and Max Holloway on the podcast, so don't forget to catch up on those Joe Rogan Experience episodes. Joe Rogan was asking, so, what has it been like for you after 300? I mean, it seems like I think for whatever reason, people go through phases of their career, and with some fighters, if a fighter gets a loss or two, they start to think that that fighter has started to decline. And with you, I think some people had written you off for some strange reason. Oh brother, I heard the noise. I heard it, said Max. Then Rogan questioned him back. He's only 32, right? 32, right, yeah, exactly. Do you know what the problem is? The problem is that these guys got to see me grow up. You know, I got in the UFC when I was 20. A lot of guys just think I'm old because I've been fighting since I was 20. And it wasn't like I've been fighting just anyone. I've been fighting the who's who in my division, the best in the world since I was 20 years old. So like, especially with the Volk fights, you know? The first two fights were all right, and the third fight is what made everybody go, oh, he's done for. I'm like, brother, that was his night he was on, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Everybody's like, oh yeah, look at Max, Volk just did this, and now they're doing MMA math 'cause of that to Volk. And even with MMA math, I beat a guy that beat you. I'm like, brother, this is not how it works. I lost to Dustin. Dustin just got knocked out by Justin, and now what? Can I say I beat Dustin now? No. Yeah, you know, styles make fights. Exactly, and it's also like what happens in camp. What kind of condition are you coming into the fight in? Are you fighting injured? Asked Rogan. Yeah, exactly. Did you just fight Islam Makhachev and get head kicked? I mean, that's a big factor, man. Then do you know what was Max's reply? He said, brother, that was crazy. You know, a lot of people were giving me a briar when Islam talked about our fight, about me and Justin, saying it was a useless fight or whatever. And I'm like, bro, if you took the fight in February like you should have, 'cause you came out clean, I think so Justin would have fought you, you know? But like, how the hell is someone that you just knocked? Like, that was a scary knockout, brother. That was a scary knockout. And that guy turning around in a couple of months like, bro, you're not even supposed to get hit for that long, right? Max was saying that he hasn't taken any serious beatings or knockouts, so there's no decline in his skills. He feels he's getting better every fight. So why do people think he's declining? He talked about his fights with Volk. People thought he was done after losing, but he said that was just Volk's night. He explained that MMA math doesn't work. Just because someone beats someone else, it doesn't mean the next guy will win. Like, he lost to Dustin, who got knocked out by Justin, but that doesn't mean he would beat Dustin now. Does this make sense to you? It's all about styles and preparation. Yeah, he even mentioned that you need to protect your brain. He doesn't spar much to avoid unnecessary hits. He brought back sparring just to prepare for Justin Gaethje because he knew it was going to be a tough fight. He said his coach knew they had to get into the thick of it to get ready for someone like Gaethje. How does he handle the hits then? Max is good at rolling with shots. Joe pointed out that he doesn't get hit clean a lot. He turns his face, takes the steam off the shots, and his style is so dynamic, switching stances and cutting angles. When he fought Justin, he avoided that one big punch and started tuning Justin up until Justin dropped him in the third or fourth round. Wow, that's intense. Max said they were ready for it because they knew Justin would use his power punches and leg kicks. He mentioned Justin's flexibility and how he can kick your legs even when he's close. He said it's almost like Yair Rodriguez's high kick. He explained that Yair could be nose to nose with you, and still manage to kick you in the head. Justin's leg kicks are similar. They come from unexpected angles and hit hard. He mentioned getting hit by one of Justin's kicks and thinking, how did that even connect? That's wild. Justin must have some serious power and flexibility. For sure. Max talked about how he fought all the best guys in his era, except for maybe Makhachev. He said he still has a few years left in him and hinted at a potential fight with Makhachev in the future. Did he say anything about recovering from big hits? Yeah, he did. He mentioned how important it is to take time off after a bad knockout, like when Justin took 6 months off. He even referenced how Marquez knocked out Pacquiao, and Freddie Roach made Pacquiao wait a year before fighting again to fully heal. Max was feeling frustrated with people saying his chin would go. He's been hearing that for years, but his chin's still holding up. Joe was like, you either have a good chin or you don't, and praised him for rolling with the punches and not getting hit clean. They talked about injuries, like bone bruises. Max mentioned how much they hurt and how he thought his left shin was broken at one point, but it turned out to be okay. He joked that Justin's kicks were like hitting vibranium, like the stuff from Wakanda and Black Panther. Joe Rogan was impressed with how durable he is. They talked about how some fighters get compromised quickly from leg kicks, but this guy manages to keep his movement. Joe mentioned fighters like Jan Blachowicz, who is super tough, but even he got messed up from leg kicks. They mentioned this funny face swap picture of the fighter with Alex Pereira. Joe said the face swap made him look like Thanos. They joked about it, and the fighter said his friend, Money Moicano, was like, yeah, screw that guy. So what's next for Max? Well, they mentioned Poirier and Makhachev fighting soon. If Poirier wins, there could be a rematch, especially at 155 pounds. The fighter sounded excited about that possibility. He even talked about the idea of fighting for 2 belts at once, the lightweight title and the BMF belt. So, is he thinking about moving up to lightweight permanently? Maybe. He mentioned that fighting at 155 felt great. The weight cut was easier, he felt bigger and stronger, and he enjoyed eating more leading up to the fight. But he also feels like he has unfinished business at 145 and wants that title back. Sounds like he's keeping his options open. After his last fight, they even announced a possible Conor McGregor fight, which would be huge. They have some history, so it could be a big draw. He went into his last fight wanting to keep all his options open, and it looked like he succeeded. Wow, don't you think that's smart? He's set himself up for some exciting opportunities. Definitely. It'll be interesting to see what he does next.